In this video we're just going to talk about the card recording options on the Panasonic GH6. So there's a slightly updated sort of area in this where we've got our new CF Express Type B card and then the more familiar sort of SD card where we can use sort of V60s and V90s in here. The recording modes are actually quite similar, but there's just sort of a few things to bear in mind when you're using them. So if we jump into the camera and we have a look, so we need the spanner, and then we're on the card and file option at the top here, and you can see we've got double card slot function. So if we jump into that, by default it should be set up to under recording method. If we jump in there, it should be set up to this, so relay recording. And essentially relay recording is if you've got two cards in the camera, it will just fill one card and then it will go on to the next card. So if we click into relay recording, you can see we can either choose to start on the compact, the CF Express card, or we can start on the SD card and then jump over to the other card. So we've got the option on which one we pick first, but the way it sort of works, if we were to just jump in the camera, I've got the lens cap on, so we're just filming blackness, but you can actually record, and then you can see down here, look, card 1 is being written to, and then once that card's actually full, with the camera still recording, you can open the side door, and you could take out the other card. So in this case, if we said card 2's just been written to, we can actually take out card 2, the one that's not being written to, take that out, and we could start writing that to the computer, and then clear everything off it and get it back in ready for when the camera is coming back onto that card. And you might be thinking, when is that ever going to be useful? And it's really just for if you're a single shooter and you do things like events, it can be really handy because you can set one camera up, say pointing at where the speakers are going to be, because you don't need to move it. They're going to be stood at a podium and they're going to be talking there and not moving around too much. So you can actually film them from a static camera. And then what I'd do is I'd look in the camera to see how much time I've got recording left on there. I'll set like a timer, roughly 10 minutes maybe before that's due to end, and then I'll come back to the camera, take the card out, and I'll basically be hot swapping the cards, taking it out, dumping it off onto a laptop, clear the card, and then essentially that gives me the ability then to have a camera filming, getting these static locked off shots, whilst I can also be going around with it maybe on a gimbal or doing some close-up shots of people. And it's a really useful thing to have. So that's where relay recording, for me, that really comes into its own, and it's a really valuable feature. So that's worth considering, just how you can use that feature on the camera. It's like I said, it's a really good thing to have. The next one is backup recording. So backup recording, for me, I'd use it if I was just doing run and gun. It was just me, and then what I usually do is I usually go for a few sets of cards. So what you need on this, you'll need two cards. I always use the same brand. You don't have to, but if you use two of the same brand and certainly of the same size, because otherwise they'll be recording at the same time, and then one of them's going to run out of space and not actually fully back up the other one. So you need to make sure that they're both the same size, and also you need to make sure that they're both clear cards, because otherwise if you've used up a few gigabytes on one and not on the other, again, they're not going to match up. Usually the camera will give you an indication that that's the case, but just be bear that in mind, that it works best if you've got two of the same card, the same size, and they're both clear. That's like the ideal situation for backup recording. And you might think, oh, it's a bit overkill, SD cards never fail. I mean, in the years I've been shooting, I've only ever had one fail, and the camera was very hot when when that happened. I've had one CF card fail and one SD card fail. Both times the camera was really, it was hot conditions. The camera was hot from recording. I've got to admit, neither time it was actually in a Panasonic. Both times it was in a Canon camera. But it still carries over that I'm aware that it can happen. So I always like to do backup recording if it's just me shooting. I'm going out for a day filming, and then every time I pack down, what I'll do is I'll actually take one card out as well, and that will go into my wallet in a card case. And then if somebody picks up my camera and takes it, I've still got that shot, and I've still got that day's worth of shooting. And the same if I leave my camera and somebody decides, oh, I'm going to take the cards out of it, because with these types of cameras there's a few £100 worth of cards in them, so they could quite easily just take them out, put them in their pocket. So I'm I'm sort of super cautious about that in the case where I will be taking one card out that will be coming with me, and the other card can still sit in the camera after a day's shooting. So I just always want to know that that footage is backed up and I'm not going to lose it. And then the last one is allocation recording. So what this essentially does is it breaks up video and photo into two different cards. So you can set your everything to go to different places. So you've got your recording for video, JPEG. If we go down to that, JPEG, RAW, and the video destination. So it might be that you just want to put all the JPEGs of the day or something, say, onto a card, and then you can just drop them onto a client laptop or something for them, onto a tablet. And then you just want all your RAWs and all your video on another card. Or it may be that you want your photos on one card and the videos on the other card. It's more of a workflow thing. It can be really useful. There are times when that can be a really useful option. So it's worth it's worth just bearing in mind that all these things are here to be used. So it's certainly it's worth digging into these and working out what's going to be best for you shooting on a day. But hopefully all of that's helped. If it has, like the video. If you want to see more GH6 content, then please do subscribe to the channel.